Welcome back to another TEKDEP repair video. In today's edition, we're going to be working on the iPhone 13. This video will demonstrate how to replace the LCD with just a few tool usage. We're going to go through efficiency, and this unit actually was mailed out to us because they found out about our YouTube videos and our surveys that we provide. And there is also a broken lens that we agreed to fix, also at a courtesy compliments on the house. So first thing you want to know about the lens when you want to fix it, before doing anything or saying anything, you want to make sure there's no black spots. So the way to do it is that you check, preferably in somewhere that's white background, and you look for any black spots. Oh, somebody's calling us. So you want to check the 0.5 lens and 1. So in this case, it would be the 1. That's the one that has been affected. We're gonna install a real sapphire glass, the same one that Apple uses, and we're gonna go through the best way to remove the screen safely, which, by the way, I recommend to use a heat mat temperature set between 70 to 80 degrees. You don't want to go over 80, but anywhere between 70 to 75 is great. Most people prefer to rely on isopropyl alcohol. I like to use the rear glass cover glue remover with the help of a syringe. First thing why I prefer to use it is that the LCD is good, so it's a good asset for LCD buyback, where you can make some capital for your inventory. And second of all, it also helps preserving the integrity of the LCD. Okay, so we're gonna apply a little bit of the liquid, just a little bit in the edge. Okay. The best way to go through the extraction of the screen without causing any lines or segment lines to damage the screen is to apply it face this way. We're gonna leave the lens at the very last moment. So let's focus on the screen first, one thing at a time. And the best way to do it is to actually, so the temperature right now is at 60 degrees. I'm gonna leave it go a little bit up. Using a suction cup holder will definitely help. Okay, so now the temperature is at 65. We're gonna flip it. And apologies for my voice, guys. We've just been having a tiny runny funny weather in California right here, so we may get some runny nose, but one thing I can tell you, TEKDEP, we always wear masks and we always sanitize our hand before and prior or after repair. You want to show discretion to the customer that we're safe, operational, and we do everything by precautionary thing. The more the customer is comfortable, the more service they're gonna keen to acquire from you. So we're just gonna use the palm of our hand. You can use isopropyl alcohol, but honestly, the compound that they're using for this frame glue is more efficient, makes the job much easier. So whichever makes your life easier, but as you can see, it works very effectively, little effort, not too much pressure, and the screen is already up, and most likely no lines too. We're gonna verify. So this is a continuous shot. Hopefully I'm right, because I've been doing it for many times and it seems to have a very good rate of success. So don't feel too hard if you get some lines. It's here and there, the most important thing is to learn from our mistakes. Great. So now it's going up. Nice. So it's not giving us a lot of issues. And right here, you just want to poke because this is where the impact damage has occurred. We're gonna give it a quick thumbs. Switch the temperature. You don't want it to overheat. And great, look at this. Not a line at all. This is extra revenue for your business, by the way, guys. Those screens, they're very valuable when it comes to restocking the stock, because they have a certain value and it goes towards your new inventory. Great. So now we're gonna move on. We're gonna turn off again the device. If necessary, have a little bit of blower just to have a little bit of cool air, because you don't want it to be too hot. We want to cool down And you can always operate in those really cool support stand ESD, which are actually very beneficial to work when you're trying to minimize the damage of the broken LCD. So you just do like this, and it has a tiny lock, and now you can operate safely with 1 or 2 hands. So the tools you're going to be needing is actually the tri-wing screw, and we're going to start by disconnecting the battery first. Well, actually this one is a Phillips, so yeah, sometimes I get confused, but like for iPhones X and after, like they mix between tri-wing screws and Phillips screws. Okay, make sure you keep the screws organized. Tweezer to remove the metal bracket. And then after, we're gonna use a plastic spudger. You can also use your finger if you want. Finger works. There you go, disconnect the battery. Now we're gonna move on to the tri-wing screw, one right here. Great, there's a tiny one here too. Always forget about the tiny one. Make sure the position is respectful to their own position, because like certain screws, they have a different length and width. So you definitely don't want to make any motherboard damage. Okay, so now we got all the metal brackets. We're just gonna take out the connection using a plastic spudger, or you can always use your finger. Cool, so now we're gonna move on to the plastic spudger. Perfect. Now the screen is out. You do not need to transfer the proximity sensor onto the new screen in order to have the Face ID functioning. Only the front camera and logic board in this time around is linked to ensure that the Face ID functionality is restored and not voided. Great, so now we're gonna move on to like just literally installing the new screen, which by the way, we do offer them in our website TEKDEP.com. Okay, so in this case, like we're gonna need to transfer the proximity sensor because one of our units comes with it, the others don't come, but we do have the specificity on those items in our website at TEKDEP.com. We do also offer a mail-in repair, advanced data recovery service, and any type of like technical needs. So if it's something that can pique your interest, please leave us some support by checking out the links. Thank you so much for supporting us. Don't waste too much time for this, because when it comes to transferring the proximity sensor, it wouldn't like be something very complicated. You just want to keep it like short, not costing you too much of precautionary things. So that being said, we're just gonna like use spudger, a little bit of it. Don't even bother with like alcohol. So just go like this. With the heat, it helps alleviate the resistance of the glue. You just want to make sure you don't cause too much tension or puncture, because we don't want to like unintentionally like damage the ribbon cable, because you're just wasting time finding other parts, replacing it. You know, you're stalling the repair. Usually the clients, they do not like that. So better safe than sorry. A little bit of heat, a little bit of poke right here, right here. All right, so we're halfway there. Gonna go like here. Perfect. We're just gonna use a little bit of tension, slight adhesive beneath proximity sensor. Okay, so now maybe you can even like use a little bit of the tweezer. Try to limit the usage of the tweezer, because they're very sharp and they can cause damage if not properly used. Okay, got it. Perfect. Nice. So now we can discard the buyback screen and we can focus on the new screen just to reinstall the proximity sensor. Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna reinstall the metal bracket holding the proximity sensor. Nice. So now we're just gonna move on by reinstalling the screen, and we're gonna move on to the last phase, which is how to properly place the lens. So first reconnect the LCD digitizer, then we're gonna reconnect the proximity sensor, then reconnect the battery. I'm gonna put back the metal bracket. This is a Phillips screw. So this guy goes right here. And this one is the thinnest. The thinnest goes up. Alright, now we're gonna move on by reinstalling the top bracket. Careful with your fingers not to touch the front camera. You can use gloves, but if you know what you're doing, like especially if it's an out of warranty device, like, you know, the Apple people can tell if it's been operated regardless of like with gloves or not. So best to be honest. Now we're gonna go back here. So right here, I remember it was a tri-wing screw in the middle. This is the longest one, so it should be here. If it's giving you a little bit of issue, start with the easiest one. So this is the tri-wing screw. Always try to play mind games with yourself and remember like where the screw belongs to, you know, like step by step you'll be able to like handle more complicated repairs such as charging port where there's more screws, battery, in that case it's not, but like microphone is part of the charging port, SIM tray, loudspeaker, front camera, rear camera. A lot of obstacles you get with these phones in order to replace complicated part, and by far in my opinion the most complicated part, if you guys would have to guess, to replace is the ringer. The ringer is extremely hard. We may have a video on how to properly do them, but whenever it comes to those type of issue, when a customer comes and say like, oh, I have a problem with the volume button, you'll be surprised how many shops would like either charge a lot due to like inexperience or fear, or would just completely disregard those type of repair because they cannot do them fast enough that could generate like a certain type of oh, so this one goes in the top because it's the long one. It would need to generate a certain type of capital for them to make sense, you know, because they're not as easy as it may seem. You do need a little bit of experience, so it's always a good idea to learn from the basic stuff. Good, now it's secured. We're gonna put back the screen to its place. So this is an OLED premium screen. Perfect. And by the way, all of our screens, they're very well calculated by dimension to make sure whenever you install it, you don't have that weird gap that makes it look like unappealing. So we do not have that, and it turns on by itself. In the meantime, it's turning on. We're gonna reapply the parallel screws. Perfect. Repair of the front screen was a success. Now we're gonna move on to the lens. So when it comes to lens, two things. Never apply too much heat. Try to use what you have with. So in this case, this would be easy. Touch works, everything fine, good. So for this, we're already almost done. You don't need like heat for this instance. If you do need to use heat, just use this. Do not apply alcohol at all. It scraps, it will mess up the job, it will leave a bad look. Just do this. Tweezer, always facing in this direction while you're scraping off the bits, but make sure you don't touch. So make sure you don't touch the back camera. And the reason I'm doing it in this position, I want the debris to fall off, not fall back in. If they do fall back in, it's not a big deal. We still have a blower to make sure that all the debris are cleared out. But what you want to make sure is that you do not touch this section right here, because it scraps so bad that it's almost possible to just like restore the way it was. And this one actually I see like it did sustain a little bit of damage. Take out that. Perfect. So yeah, this one I can see has been badly damaged. That was close. Yeah, almost scrapped the actual lens of the camera. So you want to be very cautious when it comes to lens repair. Anything can break or make the repair, and you would need to like replace the entire camera. In this case, we do not need to. Okay, almost done. So we just have like a little bit of scrap left here. This type of issue, they do take it seriously when you want to trade in your device, so never disregard tiny repairs. Okay, good. So now all we need to do is remove the glue or the adhesive. You can use those type of X-Acto knife 11 and go slowly like this. You can see it's coming out. Okay. Okay, so now we're just gonna be using dry cotton tip. Do not put any alcohol. Here, scrap off the remaining of the adhesive right here. Perfect, making good progress. Nice. So the glue is completely off. Okay, making sure there's no debris left. Okay, good. Alright. Okay, so we're gonna start by reapplying the adhesive. Make sure I don't put too much fingerprint. Perfect. Okay, so now we're just going to need to remove the adhesive. Now we're going to install the new one. So you have to be very delicate when it comes to here. You have to remove this one first. Once you remove it, you slide it and you remove it. So make sure that the inner surface of the lens stays super clean. There you go. Nice. It cures pretty fast and like brand new. So let's test the camera now and see if everything is fine. Okay, so now we're gonna test the camera. So far everything looks good. No black spots. And no black spots. All right, great. And with that, it would complete the video. Thank you guys for sticking by. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. Leave a like if you think we earned it. We do offer many services such as data recovery and mailing repairs. So if you can contribute by helping us, that would be great. Again, if you saw any parts or tools you need in this video, the links are down below in the description. Thank you guys for sticking by. Stay tuned until the next one. Peace out.